Absolute dynamite. Oh my goodness.
All we do is stare.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. With me I've got Callum Smith. How are you, first of all?
Yeah, I'm good. Not
Enjoy
bad.
your time in Phoenix?
Yeah, it's been good. I always enjoy the 5 weeks away, and you get to see a little bit more of the city when it's not you. Like I fought in New York, and everyone was going out and seeing New York, and I was sitting in the hotel room. So it's been good, and hopefully Liam can do the job tonight, and it'll be another successful trip for us.
Before we talk about you, then let's talk about Liam. I mean, yesterday I've got told the story when he was in Mexico and he was getting recognised by like just ordinary Mexicans at petrol stations and whatnot. But yesterday at the weigh-in, when he walked up to the weigh-in, like Mexican fans just flocked to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got such a huge following.
Yeah, he's been saying it for a while, and people think like you're exaggerating that, but he's probably better known and got a better reputation in the States and in Mexico than he has back home. They kind of love his fighting style, and I think obviously a big profile fight with Canelo, and then he fought Jaime Munguia, and they all seem to love him, love his style of fighting. And I think Liam probably the same. He loves fighting over here. He'd rather fight over here than back at home, and that's what he's done his last couple. And he's got a good fight tonight, and hopefully he can come through. And I believe he can look good doing it. I think stylistically it's a good fight for him.
But Roberto Garcia, he's fighting another Mexican. He seems to love these Mexicans.
Yeah, I think this is his fourth one he's fought now. I think if he wins tonight, it's 2-2. He's beat 2 and lost 2, but. No, you know what you're getting with a Mexican. They always come to fight. No, they're not going to get in and run away from you. It's their style of fighting, and Liam kind of fights pretty similar. So I think the two of them should make for a good fight, but hopefully one that Liam comes through.
Let's talk about you then. I don't want to go over your last fight because you're probably going over that amount of times with John Ryder, but I wanted to sort of like look at the future now. Because now, like I said to you when I met you here, when I arrived on Monday. It's like it's hard for you to, when people are throwing the name Canelo at you, your mind is probably already over there with Canelo, do you know what I mean? So was that a difficult time for you when people mentioned Canelo and Canelo Saunders and whatnot?
Yeah and no, obviously I've become a world champion, and for me that was the goal I set myself. So I'd done everything I wanted to do, but then I realised there's still a bit more for me to do. I still feel I can achieve more. There's other things I can do. So that's kind of what I stayed in boxing for, to have the big fights and against the big names, and just to really test myself and see how good I am. And I've been pro over a year now, and I don't feel I've had any of them fights yet, and it's been frustrating, but I've been in boxing long enough to know that things aren't straightforward as they should be, and aren't as simple. And sometimes I waited probably longer than I should have for a world title, and sometimes you've just got to be patient and know that as long as you keep winning, the fights will happen. And I'm in a good division with a lot of good fighters, and the Canelo fight keeps getting mentioned, and look, if it gets offered, I jump at the chance of the fight. I would love. About 50 other fighters probably want that fight next, and it's kind of who's going to get it. But if I don't get it, there's still other fights out there for me, and I just want to be in with one of them names that I do feel will test me, and the ones where if I don't turn up near my best, I'll lose. And I've always felt that brings out a little bit the best in me. So I keep speaking to Eddie, and the pressure's on him to deliver.
Pressure's on Eddie.
Yeah, he's got to deliver me a big fight. But listen, I've always wanted the big fights, but I've always understood that you can't happen as quick as you'd like sometimes. But I've always stayed patient, and I've still got that same mindset. The fight will happen, hopefully sooner rather than later.
You always get the two names that the big names that you're talking about. There's always two names that are mentioned with Callum Smith nowadays. It's either Billy Joe Saunders or Canelo. What's your preference?
Canelo, he's the bigger name obviously, and I think Billy Joe would say the same. He always got Canelo and me mentioned, and I think if either of us can get the Canelo fight, that's first priority. If neither of us get it, then a fight with each other probably makes most sense. If them two fight each other, then that leaves me fucked. In me and Canelo fight, then Billy Joe's got to look elsewhere. But it's one of them. Me and Billy Joe's a great fight. I think the only way it doesn't happen is if either of us get the Canelo fight or the Triple G fight or something like that. But no, I want big fights. I think Billy Joe's in the same position as me. He's been a world champion. He's been a 2-8 world champion. He probably just wants them career-defining fights now. So 2020 could be a good year, and hopefully both of us get the big fights. If not, we'll get one with each other.
Your coach Joe Gallagher has been all over Eddie Reynoso this week. Have you been privy to what's been said in these conversations?
No, I think he's just saying no. I think they always keep the cards close to the chest, Canelo. I think they probably know the fighting next, but no one else in the world knows. And I think Eddie was saying the same. He just won't really let loose who they're thinking of fighting next. And I think he's going to fight probably Cinco de Mayo, which is early May. So I think his opponent will probably be announced sometime soon, maybe in the new year. So it's probably just a waiting game. But no, I'm not holding my breath. I'm not. I've said
You're
in
on
the
a short
past.
list of 5, right?
Yeah, there's a short list, but I've said for a while. I think McCART spent most of his career chasing a Floyd Mayweather fight that never ever happened, and probably missed out on other fights which were big fights for him. I think he gave up a chance to, I think it was Devon Alexander for the world title because he thought he was getting the Mayweather fight and missed the boat. And I've always said I'll never do that. I'll never waste my career chasing a fight with Canelo. That might never ever happen. So if it's offered, I'll take it. If it's not, then no, I'm in a division where there's other good fighters, and there's 2 fighters tonight who are both big names in my division. A fight with the winner of that is a big fight for me. So I'm not in a position where all roads lead to one fighter. There's still other options, and like I said, hopefully Eddie can deliver one of them for me.
Danny Jacobs, when I interviewed him, he mentioned you in the interview. I said, have you been sizing Callum Smith up? He's one of the champions in this new division. He's like, I met him today, he's tall, he's skinny, he's got long arms, he's a back, that sort of thing. You've been sizing Danny up a little bit, maybe in the
listen, I've known Jacobs for years. I've always known who he can fight, and I've always liked him as a person. He's got a nice story outside the ring, and he comes across pretty well, and he's a good fighter. And I knew the minute he moved up to 168, and the minute he signed with Eddie, that fight would become a possibility. And he's a big name. He doesn't hold the belt in the super middleweight division, but his name carries a lot of weight. And if Billy Joe does fight Canelo, and then I think Plant and Benavidez with PBC, so Billy, the winner of the fight this weekend probably does become one of the best options for me. So it's another option. Again, I think I'll sit with Eddie today, and we'll look for what the options are for next year. But Jacobs is a good fighter, a fighter I believe I beat at 168, but it's a massive name, and it'd be a good fight to have.
Canelo's gave a short list of 5 names. You said now you want nothing but big names in your career. I mean, you are the WBA champion, you hold the Ring Magazine belt. I mean, the Ring Magazine belt alone, that means you're the top dog of the division. So people should really be chasing you.
Yeah, that's what.
Have you got a short list of names that you want to fight face?
Yeah, obviously Canelo, Golovkin, and then there's 3 champions: Billy Joe, Plant Benavidez. I think they might fight each other at some point next year. They're both with Al Haymon, so that's probably on the back burner. And then obviously Jacob Chavez winner. That's kind of they're the big fights. Obviously there's other top fighters, but they're the bigger, high-profile ones. So go and get me one of them. But listen, Ethan, I've always just boxed who they've told me to box, and I've always knew that a win will put me in a better position, and I've always had that mentality. And I'm world champion. I believe I'm the best in the world. I think I just need the fights to cement that position and to prove that I am the best in the world. And I think a win over any of them would help me case to being the best middleweight out there.
You feel like you're sort of maybe not hindered the fact that you don't get the big names because you're such a chilled, laid-back dude. I mean, you don't really trash
probably.
talk,
I've always said
out.
that it's probably in terms of profile. You get fighters who probably get fights and get in positions what the boxing ability doesn't deserve, but because they're a big name and they're quite big on Instagram and everyone knows them. Whereas I've always felt that that's not me, and I think if I was to start doing it now, it'd just be a sort of character. People know it's fake, but I've always been confident that I was good enough, and as long as I kept winning, I'd get there. And as long as I got there, you'd win the titles, and the money comes with it, and you don't need to slag and call anyone off or throw tables at press conferences and all that. And it probably has held me back in terms of profile a little bit, but I don't want to be famous.
You want to try some trash talking now, or?
I might give it a go. But yeah, I've always just thought, listen, my boxing ability talks it, and I know if people come and watch me fight, they're coming to watch me because I can fight, and it's not because they know me off Instagram or I don't know. It's just always just been my preference, and you've met me outside the ring. I'm very quiet, and it's just boxing's always just been something I've been good at, and I've always just wanted to be the best. And if I believe if I chose something else to do, I'd want to be the best at that. I've said before, I'm a bit of a perfectionist in what I do. I always try and do it to the best of my ability, and you're never going to get perfection, but I'll always try and get as close as possible. And boxing's just been that way for me. I've always just wanted to beat whoever's in front of me and just aim for the very top, and I believe I've got there, but there's still more I believe I'm capable of doing, and I've achieved a lot by not really showing me full ability, which I feel if I get fights with the names that we mentioned, I will show exactly what I am capable of.
I don't want me saying this, Callum, but you're a freak of nature. You're like 8'3", you make 168, it's ridiculous how you do it. So if these big fights don't come at 168, I mean, you have sort of toyed with the idea of, mentioned the idea of going up to 175 to meet the big names. Is that an option for you maybe in 2020 if these 168 pounders don't want to fight you? Yeah,
it's always been an option. From when I turned pro, everyone's always said he'll end up as a light heavy, and I've never denied that. I'm big enough. I sparred a lot of top light heavyweights, and I believe I'm good enough and big enough to compete up there at the top level. I've always just felt that I want to do as much as I can at 168 before stepping up, because once I step up, I won't come back down. So I've always just wanted to try and put it off as much as I can to achieve as much as I can, but listen, I'm not going to wait around forever, and if the fights don't happen at 168, then no step up would. I'd love to be a 2-weight world champion. That is, once you win one, it's always been a goal, but I can't sit and say I want to be a 2-weight world champion when I wasn't a 1-weight world champion, whereas now I've won a world title at 168. Moving up to 175, it is an option. I'd just like to hopefully get a unification fight or a big name at 168 before moving up, but it definitely is an option, and I think it will happen maybe the back end of 2020.
Before I let you go on and enjoy your... Did you finish your coffee?
No,
Is it there?
cold,
Before I let you go, I know there's a competition in the room, Mario Kart. Who's winning?
I'm the man.
Are you the man in that?
They all disagree.
Liam says he's the man.
Yeah, no. If you ask us who's the best at anything apart from boxing, we'll all say ourselves, and then when it comes to boxing, we all give credit to other people. But if you come watch us, we're very competitive, and even Mario Kart, we're all I'm 29, they're all older. And it's like a life and death on it, to be fair. And there's only 3 pads, so the loser goes off and has to wait a game, so it's a bit of a nightmare.
Filming this,
I know, you need to come up and film this, but it's been good this week. Johnny Velocity brought it, and it's passed a bit of time. Fight weeks is good, but it's also been pretty boring.
Especially in a hotel.
And obviously Liam's making weight, so you go in the gym and you're trying to reserve energy, and we can't really go out and we're going to eat pizzas while he's sitting, so it's kind of, you can. So it's been a good pastime, to be fair, but say the weigh-in's done now, so Liam's enjoyed himself a bit more, and he's got a fight tonight, which hopefully should be a good show.
Definitely, but I won't keep you much longer. Thanks for this fight on TV, Callum, and hope to see you in the big fights in 2020.
Hopefully.
Thanks so much, Callum.
Thank you.